Hi, it's 975 and welcome to Elite Dangerous on the Xbox. And today I've got a big ship Tourney fight for you, kind of. And I wanted to talk about BGS wars. So I put up a thing on my community feed saying about a big ship tournament that's coming up run by Jordo Man, who's how do I explain this? He's currently got the tags for the big ships on the Hands Discord. What the Hands Discord do, I think they pick a champion and they give them the tags, and then whoever beats them in a challenge will take the tags. It's kind of like the belt holder. I don't know how they, I'm not on the Hands Discord. I don't get involved in the PvP tournament side of this game at all. And it was quite funny because Jordo thought I was actually entering this tournament. We did have a conversation in which I said, I could do, I suppose, maybe, and that became, I definitely entered, even though I didn't register or submit a build. So I don't know exactly how I managed to enter, but it was quite fun because I do apologise to Commander Dragonstorm because he had me in the first round, which would have been an easy victory for him, and he ended up getting Jordo Man instead. I believe he went out in round 1, so I apologise for that. I didn't think I'd entered the tournament, so I did back out, and I ended up fighting in the tournament in a really weird and wonderful way. Some bizarre reason, Commander Frodo Swaggins has managed to persuade Jordo Man to let him run a multi-crew Corvette as his tournament build, which meant he needed 2 fighter pilots, and me and Spare Ration ended up being his fighter pilots. I think Spare Ration's view would have been way better than mine. I learned some valuable lessons. The pulse laser fighter is like the dullest thing to use because, as you can see, 4 pips and not exactly exciting gameplay. Plus the range on it is awful. This got tedious. It's great when you let them charge up for a bit because you get this really cool, that's cool, I like that. If you could fire like that for a little bit longer, it'd be great. Or if you had some heat sinks, you could charge the damn things up a bit more. But I basically got kind of bored firing these pulse lasers at things. But Frodo managed to persuade Jordo Man that it would be totally fair for him to have multi-crew, 2 extra pips, and a couple of fighters out because that all sounds fair. Plus, he's got the advantage that his modules don't malfunction because he's in multi-crew, which again is a slightly huge advantage. But somehow we managed to get that past the tournament organizer, and I really feel sorry for anyone else in the tournament. This thing's just going to be a pain in the butt for him. I don't know if I'll be flying the fighter in the next one. It depends if I've got another 48 minutes of my life that I don't want back. So 48 minutes. The other subject I'm going to cover is the 7th Legion. The 7th Legion are back. Now, the 7th Legion disappeared for a while. Buck, the previous leader, went off to PC land. A lot of them left to go to PC land. But Hera and Robs decided to resurrect the old squadron, redesign the logo, and they're now back as 7th Legion mercenaries, which I must admit, I brought a smile to my face because I like flying with the 7th Legion guys. Frodo and Rob have always been fun to fly with. They're a very small squadron. They don't have that many members, but they immediately set about getting themselves embroiled in an unwinnable BGS war, because that is what 7th Legion love doing, and they're asking for my help in that said unwinnable BGS war. In this instance, they're not taking on IED, or at least not directly. They're trying to recapture their home system from a group called the BLOP, Brazilian League of Pilots, which is a monstrous squad. Huge, absolutely massive squad of Brazilians. They have over 1,000 commanders on their Anara page, and if anyone knows anything about Anara, generally about half the players that play for you register their account on Anara. So, I believe they have 1,600 players, roughly, but I could be wrong on that. Like I said, they got 1,000 on Anara, which is like let's face it, slightly more than 10 times what 7th Legion have. Now, the other thing about Blop is they have an absolutely huge space. Their in-game minor faction that they've pushed for years is humongous, and they have steamrolled everyone in their path. Their diplomacy is a little lacking. They will basically just come in your home system and steamroll their way in. They don't care what you do, because if you fight them PvP, they will say they're a PvE group and disappear off into private group or solo to mess with your BGS. I did cut out a lot of this fight, by the way. You'll see it in stages as it goes, because 48 minutes, what can I say? But Pirates Are Us, who isn't called Piratesaurus but constantly gets called Piratesaurus, did do a very good job of killing me with railguns. I'm not the most evasive fighter pilot in the world, and I got very bored, so I might have just been sitting there holding the trigger falling asleep. So I was ripe for being railgunned on a couple of occasions, but he had to stop us shooting him so he could simp some ammo and do other things that he desperately needed to do in this fight. It was an almost impossible situation for him to be in. The two fighters output so much damage, DPS, and like that on top of fighting the Corvette, their struggles to synthesize and stuff like that, it's all a bit of a cheat. It felt quite cheap being involved in this multi-crew combat thing as part of a tournament, but someone allowed it. So anyway, where was I? Yeah, so Brazilian League of Pilots, they use their massive numbers, and they will happily sit in private group or solo, just BGSing and destroying your BGS. 7th Legion tried to negotiate with them, that basically hasn't got anywhere, so now 7th are at war with Blop, fighting for their system. We did start a conflict in their system, but Blop ended up winning it. At one point there were 92 carriers of Blops or their allies in the system, including some IED carriers, because IED popped down to help Blop out, because they so much needed the support. I mean, how could this small Brazilian faction with only 1,000 members of Manara compete with 7th Legion, which is I think has 40 guys on its books and 4 or 5 active. So yeah, all in all, not exactly what you would call a fair fight. Pretty much like this isn't a fair fight. I gotta commend Piratesaurus is actually a really good Corvette pilot. I mean, Frodo's no slouch, don't get me wrong, but I do feel like this would have been a lot closer if he wasn't getting cheesed by this really ridiculous build. I'm not actually going to give details of Frodo's build, but just say that it's cheesy, it's super annoying and cheesy. Yeah, but fair play to Piratesaurus, he stuck out and tried his best, and blasted me with railguns on a good few occasions, so I got to sit in the mothership waiting for another fighter to print. But it was quite good fun. Frodo didn't seem that under pressure at all. He seemed quite confident and quite happy with how things were going throughout. Spare Ration was constantly giving him direction and telling him what was going on, what to do, when he had to close, when he had to back off, and various things like that. So that was quite interesting to listen to. Ration's a very experienced Corvette pilot. Frodo's a very experienced Corvette pilot. Piratesaurus is a very experienced Corvette pilot, and I'm a total muppet in a Corvette. Can't fly him, hate him. So I don't know how I ended up in this party talking Corvettes. Jordo Man also dropped in as well and started talking to us about them, and I'm totally out of my depth when it comes to Corvette piloting. I was terrible in the fighter. Ration was quite good in the fighter. He was much harder to take out and kill than me, but literally, I just did this, just sat there, plink, plink, plink. It was very boring, very, very dull. But as you can see, Piratesaurus is really struggling at this point. It's and you can see from Frodo's shields, he's not struggling at all. I think he still had banks left at the end. It was a big difference. And as one-sided as that BGS was going to be between 7th and Brazilian League of Pilots. Hopefully 7th can set up some sort of resolution where they get their home system back. There was a ray of hope. They did get an agreement from a huge BGS group to come down and help them, because that BGS group helped independent pilots, independent small squadrons reclaim their homeland, or that's what they said, but IED told them to back off, and they did. So yeah, no help from that front. Bit of a weird one. Yeah, so kind of a weird set of circumstances, but I mean, IED got blocked to attack 7th Legion systems as a response to 7th Legion declaring war on IED, so I don't think IED want to see 7th reclaim their homeland, which is a bit of a shame. I mean, it's just one home system, but I will help in any way I can to resurrect and save 7th Legion's home from Blop. It seems like it's going to be another unwinnable war, but I will give it a go. I will do some missions, I will do some stuff. It will be a bit on and off because I'm busy at the moment. I've got a lot going on, but when I'm about, I want to help out as much as I can. And it wouldn't be 7th Legion if they didn't start an unwinnable war. It's so much fun. Anyway, back to the PvP. As you can see, it's winding down. I personally don't think it's all fair allowing something like this to be in a tournament, but hey, what do I know? I'm not a PvPer. I'm not on the Hands Discord. I'll let the people on the Hands Discord argue about this. This is a Hands tournament run for that Discord, by that Discord. And if you do want to get into PvP, that is the place to go. I've provided links in the past for it. The Hands Discord is, trust me, the place to go if you want to do anything PvP orientated or PvP based on the Xbox. There are PC groups, there are PlayStation groups, there are lots of groups out there that can guide you and help you in getting better at PvP. Not something I can give you much help in because I'm not very good at PvP. So if you do want to get good at PvP, as in tournament good and fighting other players in duels, Hands Discord is a very good place to go. There are really quite a few commanders out there that can give you pointers, quite a few commanders that train and help other commanders get better at the super sweaty side of PvP. And yeah, feel free to look them up and sign up. It's a good group. I'm not part of it, I'm not involved in it, I have no affiliation over there. I like and respect what they do. CK Narf and Piglet Star Stand are lovely guys, and what they do over there is great. They do a lot for the community, a lot for the open environment, and I respect what they do a lot. I just personally have nothing to do with the tournament PvP scene because I'm a pirate. I have no interest in the dick waggling that is tournament PvP. But if you are into that sort of thing, definitely a place to go. I personally like using my cheesy, annoying tactics, and I have no desire to get good at PvP. I'm quite happy being a cheesy counter building annoying guy. Difficult to deal with, but ultimately really beatable. That's my niche, that's my spot. As long as I'm not getting speed run by people, I'm more than happy. I must admit, I do like giving a few of the really good commanders a bit of a shock when they don't actually manage to speed run me really easily. Yeah, as you can see, Pirates R Us is really struggling. I don't know where the Piratesaurus thing started, but it is quite fun. I do take the mick out of him about having short arms and being a T-Rex, but yeah, I don't know where Piratesaurus came from. I actually think his name's really clever. The Pirates R Us is actually, a pretty good gag, and yeah, I didn't actually know him under his old gamer tag, because it does throw me off because Pirate Org still calls him by his old gamer tag, and so do some of the other members of the Marauders. But I kind of became aware of him as Pirates R Us, so to me he's Pirates R Us. To to a lot of people out there, he's Pyrosaurus, and that just annoys him, so that's quite funny. I think I got a bit overexcited and started going for Rams a bit early, but, you know, ultimately, this was all over bar the shouting a long time ago. If Frodo does win this tournament, he will go a long way to cementing his status as one of the most hated players on Elite Dangerous. Because if you didn't know, I'm one of the most toxic, Frodo's allegedly one of the most hated, which is hilarious, to be honest. Yeah, quite actually. I've known Frodo a long time, and I definitely wouldn't describe him as that. So anyway, I had fun winging it around for 48 minutes in a stupid fighter shooting at a Corvette for Frodo. And of course, I could have, I had to end it by shooting and ramming him, because how else am I gonna get out of this stupid fighter? But anyway, that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching. So 7th Legion are back. They're in an unwinnable BGS war, and Frodo's doing well in the big ship tournament, or at least through the first round. Better than some people. Anyway, that's all. I'll leave you with Frodo's great artwork for 7th Legion and say that's all. Thank you very much for watching. And if you want to join 7th Legion, pass to the 7th Legion guys in my comments down below.